Okay, let's try this again. Just restarting this. I had some trouble with the last stream. So what this is all about, I've got this brand new printer from Two Trees. Thank you very much to Two Trees for sending this. I really appreciate it. This is my first unboxing in quite a while. I ran into some problems a couple years ago when I moved my 3D printing office from upstairs to downstairs. Had some major mishaps happen with my resin printers, and it kind of sapped the will out of me for 3D printing. It's just such a frustrating experience. So I kind of quit printing. I was just monitoring, making sure everything's working. So last time I had turned the audio off, which is a problem. You can't hear me, can't hear what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a problem. So anyhow, it's been a while, ran into some problems. I'm kind of getting back into 3D printing again. And this actually popped up at the perfect time. I've reached out to some of my contacts at Anycubic. I'm hoping to get a printer from them as well, starting to print some stuff again. Um, I haven't been idle. In the gaming world, I've kind of branched out into the AI sphere fairly recently. I'm now actually teaching a class on generative AI. It's pretty neat. If there's any interest, I may start some Twitch streams talking about how to use AI and AI in gaming. There's several different ways you can. There's several generative technologies that are actually pretty neat to do that you can use now with generative AI. Again, I'm one of these people. I'm a technical, geeky kind of guy. I like to combine things. So, like a tabletop that's all 3D printed or possibly online if I can't get a physical game together. Bring together, I own a bunch of audio that I've purchased over the years, or different programs, stuff like that. Bring all that together. Um, lights. I've got different lights that'll turn, like especially like the Philips Hues. You can kind of change the color level, stuff like that. Do some pretty cool stuff to really bring gaming together from a technology perspective. Um, some of the ones I do more often than others, mainly the AI side, the 3D printing. Those are really my bread and butter. But the other areas I'm actually kind of interested in. It's kind of cool at technology, cool idea to do. So that's kind of what I've been learning about and getting better at. Again, it's trying to teach a class with it on a technology, i.e., generative AI, that changes so often. It's kind of painful, really, to just put it out there. I told students stuff at the beginning of the semester that is now kind of obsolete. It's crazy how fast things move. So I have to point out to them those changes. There's just all sorts of weirdness. So that's kind of where I've been recently, just kind of giving you a little bit of background. Now, Two Trees sent me this printer. They reached out to me recently. I'm really looking forward to doing this. This is the first kind of normal uh, a normal CoreXY printer I've ever printed. Again, as you can see in the intro, this here is a Two Trees SK1 CoreXY printer. I do have an Edge 3D. It's a much older one. It's actually bigger, really robust. It's got some oddities to it, and I think that's part of the reason why it did not do as well as it kind of should have. It's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Actually, no, it's actually really unfortunate. It's actually a really cool printer. The engineer behind it is an incredible guy. I talked to him several times. So anyhow, that's really my only experience with a CoreXY printer. It's been a very long time, and there were some issues that I think could have been fixed if he'd had more time to be able to fix it. So I'm really looking forward to this Two Trees version. I've seen them, from other manufacturers I've worked with, but I've never had one sent to me. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is a 256 millimeter cube, so it's 256 by 256 by 256 millimeters. That's its print size. It uses mesh bed leveling. It's a function that they call Z-tilt leveling, and it's a 36-point mesh style leveling. Like any CoreXY printer, they print really quickly. The stats say the stats say really high. I'm going to test it out, see what I can get that still looks good. That's usually one of the problems you'll run into. It comes default with Klipper software, Klipper firmware, so I'm really looking forward to that. This is the first system I've used that uses Klipper. It's also got Wi-Fi control. Again, that's a very cool technology, something I'm really looking forward to playing with. Being able to, that's one of the reasons why I love my Octoprint servers. I can tweak things, I can monitor the prints. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with that. It just makes life easier. So I'm really looking forward to Klipper, especially the capabilities Klipper gives me over what's inbuilt in, the little 8-bit boards. It's got an all metal extruder. It's got a direct drive extruder. It's stuff that I like using. I like using those types of things. So yeah, so let's get started in this unboxing. I kind of think it's going to be a short one, mainly because I did peek into it. It is open. I just want to make sure it was. I actually want to get the instructions so I get a jump on that. But I just couldn't find them by rooting around. I didn't want to do a full unboxing. But in looking at it, it looks like it comes pretty much pre-built. I'm not totally sure what else is going to be needed, but I'm pretty sure it does come pre-built. So mainly it'll be just pulling it out and then just getting it set up, and let's see how this goes. So I hope you enjoy the stream. I'm not in my office for this. Still having to get some stuff cleaned out. So I'm going to try to get, you're probably going to miss some of the unboxing, mainly because this is a little bit cramped in here. So yeah, it looks like it comes all together. It's literally just going to come onto the desk here. My mouse there. It's going to come onto the desk, and I think be ready to go. Holy crap! It is a little heavy. They do say on the side to lift with 2 people. It's really, honestly, the big problem here is that it's being sucked in and not actually coming right out. There we go. So there's the printer. It looks like that's all I've got internally here. So yeah, as you can see, this did come fully assembled. It is a fairly large printer here. Let's see here. Just want to make sure that where I'm grabbing isn't going to damage anything. Okay, so there are parts underneath it. I can see them now. Basically, when I was trying to get into it earlier, I was reaching into the bag. Couldn't get past anything. But now that I'm here, I can actually see there is some additional pieces and parts here. Let's see here. Sorry. Believe it or not, I'm actually in my closet because this is where actually my recording studio is, because my office is very echoey. So you can actually, if you've got a nice walk-in closet, actually get some pretty, it sounds actually pretty good in these things. So let's see, get this out. There's the box of goodies. Ooh, screen. Wow, there's all sorts of fun stuff here. So under it, yep. Okay, so it's got a solid bottom. There's nothing under this here. You're probably not going to be able to see it very well. It's just a solid bottom, some vents. We've got the control here to set it to 110 versus 230. It's actually kind of obvious in this printer, which is really nice. I know that I've run into issues. Thankfully, I'm in the US, so if you have it set wrong, it's not going to create any major issues. You've got controls here. On the back side, you've got your power, you've got your plug, you've got, let's see here, USB 3 with a blue connector here. You've got probably USB 2, I'm guessing, Ethernet. And I'm not sure what the other one is. It looks kind of like a modified RJ11 or telephone. I have a feeling it's going to be for like the display or something. Actually, I guess that's on the side. Assuming this is the front because the PI sheet is attached this way. So it uses, so I can see now it's got three Z bolts or three Z screws to get it up and down. The one in the back goes 100% all the way up and down. These two go to this point right here. You can actually see it. Oh, no, the wrong one. You actually see it right here. That's the top point to it. So that makes sense. This would be going the up and down portion here. It does have linear rails going up and down. And it's got linear rails across the top there, and on the sides I can see, sorry, just trying to get an idea of what is going on in here. So I can see that's what's going on. This actually maybe Bowden and not, I thought it was direct drive from what they were saying, but it does look like there's a Bowden tube, so I don't think it's actually a direct drive system. Okay, so that's just my quick observations. As I go along, I hope to be able to tell you more about it. That, like I said, I thought it was direct drive, direct extruder, but it's very easy that the translation may have been, or it's obvious the translation was a little bit off. So I did not fully understand what I was looking at. It's got a little card here talking about it. Let's see. It says that it's undergone a total of 47 complete inspections. It talks about what they've gone through to fix it. Here is the book. A little thank you for purchasing it. Always nice to get that. Let's see here. So I just want to go through this really quick. Bed temperature says max 100. Let's see here. I told you the print size. So printing mode, USB LAN, Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz. Does use Klipper, as I said. It shows a maximum speed of 700 millimeters per second. That seems really fast. Slicing software, Ultimaker Cura, Prusa Slicer, Lychee, Simplify 3D, etc. So nothing kind of new there. Yeah, so that's kind of the quick instruction. So there is actually a lot more to this than I expected. There's going to be, let's see here. Let's see, how many steps are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps, maybe 5, I'm not totally sure. I think this is just putting the display on. So this is the goodie box over here that I've opened up. This shows the screen X1, so I'm guessing it's going to have a fairly large screen. So it's got a decent sized screen there, and all the parts for that. So that, it looks like, is the last step, so I'm going to put this over here. And let's see, what else do we get? We get a small deal of filament. They actually sent me some extra as well, which that's always helpful. Comes with a metal brush, which is really nice because I actually broke my last metal brush. It's got some of the needles to clean out the nozzle. Another, some nice little additions that are very helpful, honestly. Tool bag, snipper. Looks like a Phillips screwdriver, a little bit nicer than the normal one. Allen wrenches, regular wrenches, so some decent tools that come with it. It's always, honestly, I end up using these. I've got them in a little tote thing, because I've received actually so many of these, I tend to kind of lose them because I'll just grab them and then forget about where I had set them or whatever, or lend them out to friends or whatnot. So those are some. This looks like a deal for filament, probably. And then a few bags of pieces and parts. I believe that's going to be all there is. So yeah, let's get rid of that. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to this. I will tell you this, they did send me an email a couple days ago saying there has been a update to it. There's a USB update, which is actually plugged into my computer, just in case. So I am going to update it because from what I understand, the updated version is the version they will ship. I just have kind of a earlier version of it. Let's see here. So this is a little different here. So this is a maker. So it says maker base, and it says it's an eMMC adapter 2.0. It's the card reader, integrated card reader. So you can actually, oh, there we go. So I can see it there. So the card is actually on the back side there, but it's just it's basically like a USB card reader without the case around it is really what it is. 2.4 gigahertz antenna, little teeny one. I was trying to figure out what that was because I only saw it from the back. Various screws. Actually, looks like it comes with an extra nozzle. Yep, comes with an extra nozzle. Various screws. TF card used to update the screen firmware. Scan the QR code on the screen of the official website, so that's for updating that. So I have a feeling there's gonna be some weird updates to this that I'm not really used to seeing on that. You know, considering looks like we have to do the screen right off the bat, and then we're gonna have to also do the let's see, the screen, and then also flash or update the main system software. Now, they did send me an earlier unit. This is not going to be the full release version. They ran it. I believe this is like the second version they've released to test as well. The first version had some issues, so they kind of went back and fixed some of those before they shipped them out to the second group of us that receive these, or at least to me. So this is a very new printer. This is not something that's widely available yet. You get a sneak peek here on this channel. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this, getting to play with the new technologies. I really enjoy that. Let's see here. So let's see. So we're going to remove the Z-axis fixation, the cup head screws M36X2. So I'm guessing that this is locked into place, maybe? Well, not so sure that it is. Trying to move these three. Two's not too bad on a normal Cartesian, but trying to move three at a time is a little rough. So I'm not so sure about these instructions. They're actually a little difficult to read. The little black and white section, this part here. The pictures what the pictures show and what I'm seeing are a little different. And it also looks like there's another one for the XY from removing that. Okay, I actually see those on the X and Y. Looks like there's 2 or 4 little screws that may be locking that in. So let me see if I can pull those out. This is a very different printer than what I'm used to, so bear with me a second, because some of this is a little different. Hopefully, by doing this, when it gets to the first consumers, you'll be able to watch this video on Twitch or on YouTube and get a better idea of how to get it to work. So it looks like there's these little locks here. You just unscrew it. It pops out of it pops off of the linear rail. So what I'm looking for is something like this on the Z rails, because it looks like step 1, there should be something similar on the Z rails, or if not something exactly like this, it looks like there might be screws out, but I'm not seeing anything like that on these rails that may be locking it. It says remove the top wire setting screws, remove the firmware and lock back the screws, cup head screws. Yeah. So I'm thinking that the screws are these ones that, because by the looks of it, looks like it's just the ones that are inside the linear rail. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing this all correctly, because it looks like there's a lot of these. It looks like I've got them on the X and the Y for these, and it looks like the Z would normally have them, but did not for this or something. So not sure about that, but bigger one. So it's the one size up from the smallest will be here. But it does make sense that these are locked in for shipment, because I can't imagine that having these moving freely, especially with this being so high up. I can't imagine it being good for shipping. Now, the bed itself was actually sitting on all the boxes. It had a bunch of padding all around it. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the bed is okay, how it is without those. That might have been one of their earlier designs that they were going to, and it was going to be over-engineered a bit to protect it. But I don't know that you would need that. But I do really like this to prevent any damage to these linear rails because they can be a little on the delicate side at times. I don't know if you've ever opened one up or had one or something wrong at the end and have those little teeny bearings shoot everywhere. It sucks. So yeah, so I can actually see doing this to prevent damage being a really smart idea, especially if the distances have to travel. So now I'm pulling them off of the X here across the top. I pulled 4 off the Y, one on each side of the Y tram, and then because there's one on each side, and then there I pulled the one off of the center. So it looks like we're good there. You know what? I want to have a look at this. Actually, so there's something else here. I don't know exactly what that is. We'll have to have a look at that in a second. Looking at the cooling, actually it looks like there's some pretty good cooling going on there too. Okay, so I've got that done. So it looks like there's 6, and I've got 6 pieces I pulled off. That's always a good sign when, you know, it meshes there. So now we're going to install the filament rack. And this goes on the side of the controls, it looks like. So I'm going to turn this towards me here. Oh. And I've had somebody come into chat that looks like they want to spam me. That's always fun. Do not like spammers. So, okay. So right here, when you're looking at this side here, it's on the right. I'm just trying to see what, yeah, give me a second here. Actually, this, okay. Sorry, I'm just adjusting this just a little bit so I can see what's going on. Okay, so you really can't see it there. So it's on this side here, near the cable, on the back. So it is on the back of it, but on the side. And the filament holder is right here. Let's see. I want to check one thing. It looks to me to be just a touch on the small side. So I want to pull out this big roll of filament just to see. They like package this filament really well. This filament I don't think would ever get damaged. The airplane crash, there's a good chance how well they package that, it would survive. It's that crazily well done. Okay, so what I'm concerned with, or what I'm checking, is I just want to see if it will reach across. Yeah. So for their rolls, it will actually fit all the way through. It'll fit on the outside there. So there's a little bit of give you can see, but there's not a lot. It just feels a little short. It may be a little bit shorter compared to others. You know, you might run into some problems with some other, like maybe a wider kind of spool, but it looks like at least with this spool it works. A little injection molding type thing. It'll go right there. So it comes separate from the screws. Let's see here. One second, I'll go back to this front. I'm still a little concerned about these one screws, but it's not the same one they're talking about. Okay, so it's M4 8X2, so it is these two that I figured. Half rounded head screw M4 8x2. The packaging is kind of nice. Everything's all separated. Oops. So there we go. So this looks like it's the right one. Oops. Get that in and get that screwed in there. Don't want to cross thread that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Let's see here. I was just trying to see if there's a way to wow, looking at the people here, I've got several users watching, but I don't know if any of them are actually real people. That's always fun. Okay. So I've got that done, and let's do this next one. So get that in. Okay. The tapping's a little on the tight side, shouldn't be a big problem. Little too hard there. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so you can see this is going really fast. Those two pieces were put in. That's all that it really takes. Now it looks like the oh, wait a second. Okay, sorry. The instructions are a little weird. I may talk with them, trying to maybe get that a little bit or help a little bit on that. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is on the front right here. You can see this. This is the connector for it. This is some taped down. This is some taped down wire. There's also two screws here. And honestly, if you see me reading this, this is the reason why I had hoped to grab this beforehand, just so that I knew what I was getting into a little bit. But you can see this in real time, me assembling it from scratch. Okay, so it comes with the mounting hardware built in, which is actually pretty nice. I like how they've separated everything. Actually makes me wonder. Hold on, I'm gonna stop for a second here. This is the screen. Puts that in, and then it looks like the screen itself slides on. And that's it. So the reason why I was wondering, if I look here, this little baggie of parts has a nozzle, spare screws, cup head screws. So I wonder if I'm supposed to screw more of these in, if that's what it's trying to tell me. And then more spare screws. So it's got two sets of spare screws plus these cup head screws and a nozzle. So just checking this out here and here. That, like I said, that first step, looking at the instructions, it's a little weird. Not a huge fan of how it's actually, how these instructions are created. It's a little confusing is the issue. And I'm just trying to see. So it's got the cup head screws, M36, M36 X by two of those, but this is showing 4. So what I'm wondering is if no. So I'm looking at the screws. So it looks like they have screws every other one. So that looks correct. So I'm really not entirely sure what these are. These are the right ones. These are the ones for here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's too many for the 4 that are here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with that a little bit to understand better how these are set up. I'll put a note on the instructions once I find out what the story is there, and try to add some more clarity for that. Okay, so back to the screen. Sorry about that. Sorry about the little side. It's always fun to do this stuff live, you know? One thing I've learned in teaching is that when you do things live, it hardly ever works out like you hoped it would, because things just don't like to work right. You know, it could be the website's down, or the server you're trying to access is down, all sorts of things. Okay, so what this is looking like to me is we want to put it with the wider side out on the bottom and the narrow part on top. So it looks like it goes like this against the side. And it doesn't say if I should pull this Let me have a look at this. I want to see how this goes because it doesn't say to remove the tape on the connector. I don't know if the connector is actually on that side or not, or if I'm going to have to adjust it when it goes on. If it goes on like this, I think I'm gonna leave the tape on because I'm not 100% sure that it's gonna have to stay off. But if I leave the tape on, I can always reattach it. So that's kind of my thinking on this. So I'm going to put this in here. And just get these started here, get them installed. Okay. So getting these screwed in here. Give me a second here. Okay, so that's in there. So the reason why I was unsure about this tape is, oh, maybe I'll turn it so you can see. So I just put these two screws in here. The reason why I was unsure about the tape is that it actually would go right below it. What I'm unsure about is when you put this display on, whether that would, how that would work. Because you plug it in, it doesn't actually show plugging it in, but it's actually kind of obvious on the back side. There's that little white deal there. It's just going to plug right into that. Having it unplugged from the, or having it not taped on is going to just make this a lot easier. So let's put, ow. Let's get out the Leatherman for this one. Mainly because it's making this 90-degree turn, which is a little concerning. I don't like, but on the plus side, once it's in, it should not be coming in and out often or at all. So I don't think we're going to see much flex. Get it on. But man, getting that in there, there's not a lot of room. I don't know how well you can see this. There's not a lot of room to get this in is the big issue here. And there we go. I just need to get it started now. Push down on these two sides here. There we go. And it's snapped in. Unfortunately, and I hope this is the right way. There we go. So I don't think it's going to really matter if you untape it like I did. I don't think you're going to be able to get it in easily if you do leave it taped. Okay, so that's basically everything. It's literally, you've got the accessory. Let me see here. Let's see if I can do this without the glare. There we go. So you got the accessories there. Then you've got 2 pages, steps 1 and 2. 2 more steps, 3 and 4. That's installing the rack. This is installing that little unit up there. And then basically number 5, they call it this assembled. It's being assembled. Sorry, I've got light right next to it. That's technically the last step, but really all it's doing is showing this slides in. It doesn't actually label it as that. Okay, so before insert the reserve screen cable into the terminal block, then push the screen assembly along the chute into the corresponding slot of the bracket, and the installation is complete. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see if there's any other instructions. We've got French, Chinese. Yeah, that looks like about it. English, French, Chinese. Let's see here. The reason why I'm checking is that basically we're to the point that I'm going to want to plug it in. I just want to make sure everything is set up correctly. Sorry, I just realized this is not a Bowden because it does not have. I was thinking Bowden because it's got the Bowden tube, but it's not an external extruder. The extruder does not sit over here. Oh, there we go. I was trying to figure out why that just did that. So this, you can just see that kind of pushes right in. There's a little teeny deal right above the filament holder. Sorry, totally changing gears here while I was looking at this. Sorry, when I was looking at this, I was thinking that I may have told you wrong, and I did. So what I originally had said at the very beginning of the video is correct. This is direct drive. It just is using like a Bowden tube to move the filament from here through the chain and into the direct drive extruder. So that's actually pretty darn cool. I'm just kind of looking through this really quick. There's nothing, too crazy about this. It's got a PEI plate, magnetic PEI plate. I don't know if I showed it, but it's magnetic and it's actually pretty thin. It comes off pretty easy. I've got another printer that's got one, but there's not a lot of flex. That's got a lot of flex. That's gonna make things easier to get off, pull stuff off of. Okay, so it's got deals here. So it's got, like I showed you before, it's got an Ethernet port or internet interface, USB 3, like I said, connect USB flash drive, connect wireless card, connect PC. USB 2, flash drive, wireless card, PC, same thing, but just USB 2 speed. Screen interface used to expand other screen sizes, RJ11 type interface, so like I said, like a old school telephone line, and then power. Okay, so that it looks like all correct. I'm always glad when I can identify things correctly. That makes me feel pretty good. It doesn't really talk about it, but I am going to put the antenna, this little mini antenna, on as well. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be too tall, so I'm going to have to set it off the edge here so that I can screw it on. Not a huge deal. Actually, let's do this. Let's tighten that up a little bit more. Oh, I bet one of these wrenches will allow me to tighten it just a little further. Yeah. Oh. Okay, you have to be careful with that. I'm seeing that the interface between where it goes through the printer is spinning a little bit as well. Making sure it's turned off. Like I said earlier, I did check the power. It's set correctly for US, but I will just check it one more time. So left is 110, or it's actually showing 115 volts. Right is 230 volts. So we have it set to the 120, or sorry, the 110. So we are good there. So let's try plugging it in. Okay. Oh, this is a little shorter than I had planned on, so hopefully this, well, actually, hold on. I can pull this over here closer. Yeah, I've almost got this full just with my camera equipment and my lights and everything here, so don't have a lot of extra room to go around here, so plug it in and let's hope we don't release the magic smoke. Oh, look at that. There's lights. It's got lights up here too. I'd read something about that, but I wasn't totally sure about it. That's pretty darn cool. So I wonder if it's actually got a camera built in as well. I could see it having a camera because I thought I saw something about a camera, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I wanted to get some clarification on that before I got into it. So let's see here. I'm just deciding how to do this because I want you to kind of see what's going on without all of this. So, yeah, so it doesn't have internet access. Not a huge surprise there because, I just turned it on. I've got the internet thing. I've got a warning. I'm going to have to flash it as well. Let's see if I can stab that and get this open. I bet that was making some fun noise in the headsets, huh? Or in your ears, wasn't it? Okay. Oh, did I knock this? There we go. Yeah, one of the great things about having a black background is if you if you're not like right on me, it totally tries to blow everything out. Okay, so let's take the cover off of this. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so it's got a touch screen here. Oh, let's escape. So I can go to, so it's got a home, it's got a settings. Let's see how well I can bring this up here. Sorry. So you can kind of see here. So we get close enough that you can actually see it. So we've got home, we've got settings, we've got your files, we've got the network, or we've got the system, the network, calibrate, and the online manual, contact, and the frequently asked questions. So there we go. So that's all of those. Let's see here. This back down here. Okay. So we can use our phone to, well, I could use my phone to get to those. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to hang this over here. So the filament's going to go up there. Let's see, load, unload. You can set your fan. So if you can hear that, that is the fan. I'm really not sure what this little adjustment knob is. I didn't see it explained. I'm wondering if it's the tension for the direct extruder. So if I go over here, I'm going to see, whoops, don't want to do that, wrong network. Okay. Okay, that was stupid. I put in the password and then I clicked escape. Don't do that. It all goes away. You have to retype it all. That kind of sucks. Enter. I hit that escape because it kind of reminded me of an OK when I was just kind of looking at it really quick. And I'm hoping I remembered my password. It's one of those things, I don't know. I always forget my stupid Wi-Fi password. It's just one of those things. So it's acquiring the IP. It looks like it's kind of working there. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to, sorry, just going through this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to find these instructions. Oops. Oh, actually, I don't want to take this off yet. The instructions are on there. Let's see here. Sorry, just give me a second while I pull up. I don't want that one. So on my other computer, I actually already have this set up. I just want to have the instructions here as well on my system. I actually, the instructions they sent me are a little shaky. They're pretty much right, but I actually found, since I've been using generative AI I took the Chinese instructions through there. It just made a little bit more sense. So enter the system from the web page to backup printer.cfg. One thing I do notice is there's no cables. I'd kind of counted on that, so hopefully I can get the network to connect. Good, the network's there. Now I need to figure out what's the what is it? Oh, I bet that's it. Okay, now connect. So it looks like right on the front, it gives you the IP address. Oh yeah, looky there. I have no idea how well you can see this or how well you can't, because I can't see my screen. So it's only single screen, but you can see that's what it looks like. It's actually a pretty darn nice looking interface there. Pretty happy about that. Gonna go back here. Okay, good. That looks right. Go back to my... Oh my god, I've got like all three of my browsers open here because I just am... I don't know why this is set to Edge by default, but it is. Okay, so it's got all sorts of connection or settings here. Oh wow. So yeah, this is showing that this is actually pretty cool because like I said, I've never used any of this. I've never owned a Two Trees before, but it looks like that they have tested this quite a bit. Looks like this particular printer has seen 116 print jobs, total test print jobs, with an average print time of 2 minutes 17 seconds. Looks like I can tune the printer, which I'm not gonna... Weird, okay. So what I wanted to do is I want to get the config.cfg file. It sounds like that is the file you need to... Oh, there's a download. Okay. So I'm going to go to my downloads here really quick. Actually, let's open that. Open downloads. Downloads. Get that printer.cfg file. It's thinking about it. Okay. Then I'm going to put this on my thumb drive. And now that we've done that, so here's the instructions just in case you have to upgrade it. Enter the system from the web page, back up the printer.cfg configuration file. This is very crucial, otherwise may lead to data loss. Copy the twotrees.deb file and the printer.cfg file backed up in the first step to the root of the USB drive, which I've already done that. Do not place it in a folder. Insert the drive into the machine for reading. On the screen, click the fourth option in the navigation bar, then click version detection under system. When the request interface pops up, click download. So let's go over here. So these are upside down. These USB drives are upside down, just if you care about that. So go over. So basically, it's the fourth item over is the settings. Let's see here. So under system, okay, so that's the first. So there's there's 5 icons across the bottom. The fourth one is your settings, and then it says to use system, which is the default one. The first one you're already on, and then there is a down arrow. Let's see here. It says click version detection. No, I see a version upgrade. I don't see a version detection here. There's a device self-test. Version upgrade here. So I can hit these buttons, but they do not seem to want to work. No, that one tried to work. So let's do version. So about SK-1 is working too, or as well, I should say. Okay. So I'm just checking this. So that's all working. I wonder if I have to... I'm going to try rebooting it. So let's give it a second here. So with this plugged in, they've got a kind of cool looking little animated logo too. It looks like a little lightning shooting out. I always like those little fine details like that. When companies think to do it, it actually is kind of nice. Okay, so it looks like the light is only on this front side. Yeah, the front side here. The other three sides do not have light, but that's actually kind of nice to mount a camera, be able to see it. I was just running some print jobs for my wife, and it's actually kind of a pain in that you can't, in that you don't see that. Well, actually, the interface is actually running now. I don't think it was running before. So let's see here. Let's do version upgrade. Okay, so you know what? Let me try the other USB slot. Let's try that. Okay, so now it is saying to enter um, my USB thumb drive. Now it was working on my other system. I don't know if there's something special this has to have um, to work. Let me have a look at this really quick. And I will admit there is a real possibility that I'll have to reformat this drive. So it is exFAT. It's looks like just a 32 gig thumb drive formatted exFAT, so that should be good for these kinds of things. So I had the backup. There's a printer config file that came in the package that I downloaded. So this is an upgrade from 1.11.7.5 to 1.11.9 is what this upgrade is. So yeah, it's a decent little. So it looks on, by number, it's a decent little upgrade. Let's see here. Oh, and so what it is saying too is if you forgot to back up your config file, it looks like it may, if you don't back up your config file, it looks like you lose some of your mesh settings and stuff. You know what? I've got some other USB thumb drive stuff going on over here. Let's see what I have over here. Let's see what it came with. That might just be that I can just throw this into their USB thumb drive that it came with, and it might just work, and I don't need to worry about formatting mine. So yeah, let's try that. So let's see here. Let's back these two pieces up really quick. And I'm just going to stick them in my downloads, back in the downloads file here. Okay. Now grab those two files, copy them over here. Okay. Let's see if the printer has any better luck with these. Okay. Oh, hey, that's something a little different. I think I accidentally did a Factory reset. I did not mean to do that. I don't think it's going to matter because the last step is to do a factory reset, so I'm not too worried about that. And that wasn't working with my other one. But I'm not seeing this here. Fourth screen, click version detection under system. I see a version upgrade, and it's got the version there. Let's see here. I'm just trying. Okay, so I clicked something that's saying power off, so it looks like this is a power off deal. But the two items are in Chinese. The responses are in Chinese, so I have absolutely no idea what it's saying. So let me see here. I've got a Google tool that's designed to take care of that. Over here, Google Lens. Actually, you know what? Actually, Google Translate. Let's just go straight to Google Translate. It's not wanting to detect it. Let's try this. Shut down and start. So the left one shut down, the right one is start. So if you run into the same issue that I am, that's what it means, but I can't actually. Those buttons are not working. So I'm guessing that's part of the reason we have this firmware update, is to fix these little things. All those little minor things that you never think about when you're trying to build stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a little slow starting this up as well, I've been noticing. Oh. And I lost connection, obviously, because, you know. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's go over here, system. So, oops. I can see that it's actually selecting this when I click it, but it's not doing anything. Let me try the other deal here. Okay, I do want to check one thing out here. So I just clicked export the library. I'm not actually sure what that is going to do. So I'm going to have a quick look at that. Looks like the mic is picking up that fan. That's nice. All of a sudden I'm looking over, I'm like, why is that going? I'm not saying anything. Okay, let's reseat that. There we go. Oh. That's interesting. The stuff I copied onto there is no longer there. Let's try that one more time. So it looks like it probably copied this clippy.log log over. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I think I'll just grab that off just in case. Oh, there's a documentation on here too. So let's copy both, or let's copy that new log and that off, just in case. It's always good to keep a backup of those kinds of things. Okay, let's paste. Oh, that's a lot of information on there. So it's copying over there now. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff in there in that folder. That's why. Okay, so let's pop this out. And everything's in the root like it's supposed to be. So it should be able to be found. Oh, there's a red. Hey, looky there. There's a little red dot on that display where it says to up the version update or version upgrade. Yeah. Okay, so it says new version found when I click that. It shows the current version and the latest. So it tells you what is changed, but it doesn't actually. The display is not really big enough to do that. So it's basically done. It's that fast. Holy cow. That's pretty impressive. So it says after you do that, the screen will lock, and it has locked for the most part. So I'm going to turn it off. Actually, I clicked download diary, and it popped up all in Chinese. Not going to be a huge help for me, so I'm hoping I didn't wipe out like all of the English settings on it. Okay, so let's start it up. So it says, so now that I'm doing this, it said to do this. You have to restart the machine, and then on the screen that comes up, again, we're going to go back to that fourth option on the nav bar. We're going to click Factory Reset under the System menu. When the save interface appears, complete the restoration of the configuration file. This is very crucial, it says. And then the notes it talks about you would need to recalibrate the PID values and adjust the probe nozzle distance and that kind of thing. Oh, vibration compensation. That's kind of cool. Okay, so it's back now. Let's go over here. It's all in Chinese, but if I remember right, this is the one. Nope. Maybe this is the one. Aha, there it is. Okay, so from the home screen, if it comes up, so it looks English here, but the settings and the menus are all in Chinese. So you go back to that fourth one, and the third item down is actually where you choose the language. So it's Chinese, English, Deutsch, Español, Francés, and Italiano. So we'll go back to English. Go back to English. It's giving me another, oh. So I went back and that worked. So that was weird. So I clicked on English and it has current version 1.2 something, and then it goes back, and then I have to hit back to back out of that to get out of the language section. So then I'm going to go to that factory reset, click that, save it, or it will save it itself. Save interface appears. So I don't know what the save interface that is supposed to appear is. So, okay, so under calibration, it does have stuff already set, so I have a feeling that's what I'm concerned with, that kind of stuff is set on this. Oh, whoops. I think I just told it to bed. It's heating the bed mesh. Let's kill that. There's no way to back out of that. I don't want to change that. Okay, so I think I'm almost done here. Because once this is done, I wanted to get through all this so you can kind of see what I've been going through. You know, try to hopefully get it to work. I was able to get their USB drive to work where my USB drive would not work for whatever reason. Let's see here. Okay, so it's back. So we want to see. So let's try heating it up. Let's see what this is. Oh. So here that is the model fan, or the hot end fan. It's actually pretty loud. It's got an auxiliary fan that I can adjust, but that I'm not hearing any difference when I adjust that up. The case fan, you can drop all the way down, but it doesn't look like that affects the case fan at all either. So let's do this. I'm just kind of curious. Oh. It's telling me it needs homing. So it looks like it might be homing now. It's actually moving. You can see that deal moving there. There we go. So it's just seeing if I could get it moving. I see why they've got that vibration control. This is actually kind of hefty on the movement. It's got a lot of power to it. So it's telling me it's exceeding the limits when I try to Z it, do the Z offset on it. Oh, that's a stepper motor unlock. So let's, okay, so I can input the range. Oh, that's kind of nifty. I'm used to having to, you know, go up and down to increment the bed heating. So I'm able to just type it in. That's really slick. It looks like I can do that with the hot end too. Right now it looks like it's at 44. You put up to 240. It looks like. Escape out of that. That's actually really slick. With the nozzle, you can heat it up to load and unload the filament. Actually, let's do that. Let's. Oh, that's kind of cool. From the main interface, you can also update these. That's actually really nice as well. So now I've got the hot end also increasing. It's got a little display. Here, let me show you this. So you've got this little display here. It actually shows the various temperatures, and oh my God, that's going up fast. I was just playing around with. I've got a Neptune 2, and it doesn't even come close to the speed of increasing the temperature. Holy crap! I'm there for like a minute or two. It seems like. Holy crap, that's fast. Okay, so now let us feed the filament in. Okay, so I'm filling it through here. Oh, I was like, what was that? So let's see. Let's see here. Over here, I'm gonna do load, unload, and do load. So it looks like there was some filament in there before. Just curious with this here if this has anything to do with that, but I'm not seeing that it does. So I'm seeing a red light flash inside of this. I'm not entirely sure what that is. There we go. Okay, so you can see a little bit here. You see this coming out. There we go. So it was black, now it's white. This is what I've got in there. Yep, the bed's all nice and hot as well. There we go. So with the load, we've got a nice little pile of filament here that came out. You see that they were printing in black. I don't know if you see, maybe, but they were printing in black, and then my white was coming out, so you can see that pretty good. So yeah, so it seems like it's all fully functional. I will. Oh, so that one, so the screen inactivity. So the screen's got a inactivity setting 3, 5, whatever. You can set this brightness. So that's what that was. It looks like it's got some local memory in it. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking around these here. Oh. Oh, so you can manually turn the light on or off. On the menu, on this front menu, there's a. Here, maybe I'll show you. Probably easier to show you than try to explain it. You know, there's nothing like trying to hold a camera that you can't see in front of you and hit buttons. So that's how you turn the light on or off. You can kind of see that in the background. Click this, it'll take you to the fan. The case fan does not seem to have any, does not seem to do anything for that, but what they call the model fan, you can hear that crank up. That's the cooling fan. So I don't think I'll be taking this to work. That's a little on the loud side for my office. My Neptune's actually been sitting there for a couple years. The Neptune 2 is a very, very quiet printer. Slow, like I said, for heating up and everything. But you know what? That's okay. You can see the calibration screen here. Maybe not really very well, but you can see that it's got stuff that's already calibrated here. This is that's so when I was talking about the 4, you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your system. You go down here. There's the version upgrade. That's how you upgrade it. There's the factory reset. You can see information on the printer itself. That's that export diary I said. So yeah, so that's all the fun stuff there. I think I'm gonna call it there. This will have to go back downstairs. This is upstairs right now. It's gonna have to go back downstairs into my office so that I can put it on the rack, and so it'll print. So far, my first impressions. Some of the instructions I think could be done a little bit better. Um, I wouldn't say that's actually all that odd for these 3D printers. That's something that I've run into on numerous occasions. Um, One of my biggest issues is the software is different. The only thing I've ever run is Octoprint or Merlin. I've never run this Klipper. I'm assuming this is all Klipper here. It's a totally different interface for me. I'm really looking forward to playing with it more. I think it's going to be really cool to dig into and get figured out. This is a very hefty, very heavy system here. Let me move these so I can see. I should be able to tell you the shipping weight. The shipping weight was 17.5 kilograms. So it's a fairly hefty system. It's not a it's not it's not a system that they've really. It doesn't look like they've skimped on the around any of the edges on this. It looks like it's actually built pretty darn good. I'm going to reset everything, the temperatures to 0 since I'm not going to be using those. Because yeah, that bed's very warm. It's I generally set my PLA to 60 degrees. That's a feels actually hotter than what I'm used to. So I'm just kind of curious if this runs a little bit hot or if my other printers run a little cool, and that's the reason why I'm running 60 instead of like 50 that a lot of people run at. Um, so yeah, like I said, this thing is solidly, by just looking at it, it's solidly built. It's got 2 linear rails up front, along with the front Z. It's got a third Z in the back, as I showed you before. It's got that light on the front. That's actually pretty cool. I guess that's not really part of how it's constructed. It's got 2 linear rails on the Y. It's got 1 on the X going across. So it's got a total of 5 linear rails on it. When it prints, it seems like there's some pretty good torque moving it. So the stepper motors seem pretty strong. I can only go off just what little it did here a second ago, but I was actually surprised how strong it was. I think something that you'll want to be careful of or watch. It looks like they use tape to tape down the cables going up, and it's probably just something you're gonna want to be careful of so they don't like go flying everywhere. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. It'd be nice if there's a way to cover them to keep, physically keep them from sliding out. But looking at it, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Just looking at these. So it feels, like I said, this feels pretty solid. It's, the PEI sheet is pretty tight on there. This connector to the heat bed looks like it's designed really, really well. This whole thing just looks and feels to me to be very well, very solidly built, very well built, very solidly built. And that's always kind of convenient to have, when a new printer, lots of bolts or screws are being used in it, bolts, So they don't skimp. It doesn't look like they skimp on anything at all. Like I said, it looks like it's the build quality seems really good on it. Nice clean lines, stuff like this. So yeah, this Two Trees SK1, my initial impression. Now this is initial. I've literally not run it at all. It seems pretty darn good. On MakerFun3D.com, I will put up specs on this, where I'll put a link to the Two Trees website so that you can pre-order it. It's in pre-order right now. And I really want to thank Two Trees for sending this my direction because, like I said, this is the first one I've done in quite a while, so I'm actually kind of excited to do this. I've really been looking. I got this. God, I think I got it on Monday, and today's Saturday, so I had to wait, a whole week. Things are, I'm at the end of my semester at school, so things are kind of crazy at school. So this is my first opportunity to print this. So I've really been chomping at the bit to get to it. And yeah, it seems like it's very, very solidly built. It seems really high quality. I'm very, very, very happy with that. So if it prints as good as this how well it's solidly built, this is going to be a very tough printer to beat. It's for speed and versatility, I think you're going to find it, and with the direct drive extruder and everything, I think this could be a very difficult printer to go up against with other printers. But like I said, I will have to test it out. I'll have to put it through its paces. Right now, I'm just going on build quality and how things kind of fit together. In my experience, though, usually when they've got good quality, when they're built well, the rest of it kind of comes together. Let's see. I'm going to turn it on off so you don't have to hear that fan. Oh, that's so much nicer. That whining's gone. So when things are solidly put together like this, I generally find that um, the overall quality goes along with it. Um, so I am very excited in trying, and playing with this some more, trying it out, and putting it through its paces. My wife's kind of been on this, the crystal. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The articulating dragons, like the crystal dragons. I think it's Crystal Wing 3D uh, is the maker of those. And then I've got some stuff. I know that Warlayer just um, finished his recent Kickstarter. I want to print some of those out. I backed the Omni whatever to be able to 3D print a miniatures box or miniature displays. I want to get around to finally maybe printing some of those out. There's just some stuff I want to print out. And then I've got a coworker that wants me to print some tooling for one of his woodworking tools. He found an STL file he wants me to print for him. So I'll do that, and I'll be able to put that through its paces. So this will give, usually most of what I show off or most of what I test print tends to be gaming related. So it's the industrial need of it is not as strong. But something like that piece for my coworker for his woodworking tools, that'll be, I think, something really interesting, uh, so that um, I can actually, excuse me, sorry, wow, it's almost 1 o'clock, so it is getting late here. But being able to work on an industrial tool like that, I think may be worthwhile, to help to be able to see how well this prints and the prints hold up over time. And when I do that, I'll probably be trying some PETG. I don't print a lot of PETG, but I'll be doing that, pulling the PLA off and try that. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to help you with this. If you're interested in me possibly going out and doing some AI, showing you how to do some AI, everywhere from like ChatGPT to help you create characters, help you create your world and stuff, to generative AI images to actually view what they look like, stuff like that, or create battle maps, create music. You could create, custom music that goes, have the bard sing, stuff like that. And it is fully fleshed out where it's actually got a singer singing it. It's pretty impressive. So if you want me to go into that, please, drop a note to me. I'm always happy to hear about that. I'm recording this on Twitch. Once I'm done here, I'll download it and I will upload it to over to YouTube as well. So again, let me give a big thank you to Two Trees for sending this over. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to putting it through its paces, seeing what it can do, seeing what kind of terrain and stuff I can print with it. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I really hope this prints as well as I think it's going to. Because if it does, this should be an amazing printer, and I hope you pick one up if that's what happens. So take care. This is Kevin Rank. Make fun 3D, and have a great day. Bye.